This is Ola. She's going to be doing her mock driving test with me today. Have you had a test before?
No, I've not had a test before.
How much experience do you have driving?
I've been driving on and off with 2 instructors and my dad for about a year and a half.
And is there a reason why you're doing this mock test today? Because I haven't taught you to drive, have I? You want another opinion, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a test next week, seeing if I can pass that.
Okie dokie. Well, we'll see how you do then. During the mock test, this is going to be very similar to a real test, except during the real test, the examiner will allow the pupil to damage the car. For example, they will allow the pupil to hit the curb, ride the clutch excessively, or even hit a post in a car park if they're not travelling too fast. The reason why they do that is because if they didn't allow the pupil to hit the curb or the post, the pupil would say, I wasn't going to hit that, I was going to stop. So if it's going to be a minor impact, they do actually allow it to happen unless it's going to damage somebody else's property. Also, I do the harshest example that I've seen. I've been a fly on the wall in driving tests for 15 years now. So if it's possible, that is going to be a serious mark. I'll mark it as a serious mark, even though it wouldn't necessarily be serious for all examiners. They are slightly different, but I just take the most harsh example I've seen to try and give you the best chance of actually being ready for the driving test. Right, so I think I should go and get your examiner, Arthur. He'll be back with you soon.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Arthur.
Yeah,
What's your name?
Ola.
Ola. Is it okay if I call you Ola today?
Yes, please.
Oh, great. Just let me hop in the car. Boy. Okie doke. Would you like me to tell you about the driving test?
Yes, please.
It's going to be between 38 and 40 minutes. It's going to take into account various road and traffic conditions. I may ask you to do the emergency stop, and I will get you to do one manoeuvre. And for this test, you'll spend part of it following the sat-nav. If you're not following the sat-nav, I'd like you to follow the road ahead, unless I say left or right, or road signs, or traffic markings, road markings tell you otherwise.
Okay.
And now I need to ask you a question. Can you tell me how you check your head restraint is correctly adjusted?
The head restraint, but the stiffest part of the headrest should be in line with my ears and eyes.
That's right. And at the moment it's a little bit high, but
it doesn't go any further down.
Yes, so we're going to have to deal with that. Okay, so follow the road ahead, unless I say left or right.
Okay.
Move away when you're ready, please.
Oh.
This is her final blind spot check. Let's see how old it gets.
Oh, I don't like that sound. Okay.
She is struggling to remove the parking brake. This is a mirror check, not a blind spot check. Her blind spot was 13 seconds old, so this would have to be a minor mark for move off safety. And as she struggled with the parking brake for a while, this would likely be a minor mark for control parking brake. At the end of the road, please turn left. Approaching the end of this road in second gear with the clutch up is a bad idea, because by the time you can see whether or not it's safe to go, if it's not safe to go, you're going to have to stop quite firmly, which she does. However, I don't feel she approached the end of this road fast enough for it to be a minor mark for junctions approach speed. A safe decision to go at this junction. It's good that she starts slowing down early for the hazard. However, she does stop a little bit too close. Not close enough for it to be marked on test, but close enough that if she held back a bit further, her view around the ambulance would be better. It doesn't look like she's very close on camera, but that's because the camera has a wide angle lens, as do most dash cams and action cams. This makes objects look a lot further ahead than they actually are. She didn't check her mirrors before driving around the ambulance. This would almost certainly be a minor mark for mirrors change direction, because she was stationary and then she moved off to the right. At that point, someone could be overtaking her. However, she did check her mirrors for moving back to the left side of the road.
Next road on the right, it's just after this bend.
Initially, she changes down into second gear and lifts the clutch, but then she presses the clutch back down again and coasts throughout the right turn. When she does press the accelerator, we don't accelerate. The revs flare up, then she lifts the clutch. That brings the revs down suddenly and creates quite a significant jerk through the car, although you can't feel that jerk when you're watching it on screen.
And I would like you to pull over at the side of the road on this hill, please.
Okay. Just about here?
Anywhere here will be fine, thank you.
Coasting throughout that previous junction would almost certainly be a minor mark for control clutch. Now it's time for the hill start.
Thank you. Move away when you're ready, please.
I think she needs to practice using the handbrake. She doesn't roll back during the hill start, but moving with the parking brake on would likely be a minor mark for control parking brake. When moving back to the left side of the road after passing the parked cars, she checks her centre mirror before steering, but she doesn't check the left mirror until she has already steered, which is a bit late.
And you pull up before the next car on the left. Don't worry about the driveways. Try and finish a car length before the car. So a car length before that car, please. Keep going forwards a bit more, a bit more. That'll do there.
Yeah.
Thank you. And move away when you're ready, please.
Okay.
This is the angle start. This is her last blind spot check. Let's see how old it gets. Well, that was close to 5 seconds old.
Next road left, please.
Having a blind spot check that's close to 5 seconds old may be a minor mark for move off safety, as that check is starting to get quite old.
End of road right.
Before signalling, she usually checks the centre mirror, but I don't always see her check the relevant side mirror, so she may be accumulating minor marks for mirrors signalling. Really good observations before emerging from this junction. At the next junction, she doesn't check the side mirror before signalling again, but she does return to her side of the road before she reaches the junction, which is important because if she needs to wait, she is out of the way.
Next road right.
This one, yeah?
Yes, please.
Again, she coasts throughout this right turn. She doesn't need to coast because she is fast enough to keep the clutch up in gear, but as there's no harm done and she maintains good control of the car, this is unlikely to be marked. I'm noticing a pattern that when she changes direction, she checks her centre mirror but not the relevant side mirror. If she continues to do this throughout her test, it's quite likely she will get a serious mark.
End of the road left.
Again, she only checks the centre mirror before signalling, and when she turns left at the end of the road, she does go a little bit wide, a bit far from the curb, but it's not bad enough to likely be marked on test, and there is no one around.
Next road right. Just here on the right.
Oh, sorry.
Again, she only checks the centre mirror before signalling, and when she turns right into this road, she doesn't steer very well and ends up going slightly in the middle of the new road. So this would likely be a minor mark for controlled steering. I need to talk to her about her upshifts because she's giving too much gas and making the car jerk significantly enough that I am concerned she may damage something, although you can't feel these jerks when you're watching it on screen. She's doing it bad enough and consistently enough that by the end of the test, this would likely be a serious mark for control accelerator.
And pull over on the left in a safe place.
Okay.
I just become Richard again for a moment.
Okay.
When you're going up gears, you're pressing the gas quite a lot.
Too much, yeah.
You barely need any gas at all.
Okay.
When you're going up gears. When you're going up gears, you're actually better off with no gas
Okay.
than too much, because that's going to damage the clutch if you keep doing that.
Okay.
And you see it's quite jerky, isn't it? Because like that. And so you spin the engine up and then you connect the...
Head or back together, okay.
Yeah, if you don't want the engine... When you go up a gear, the revs drop.
Yeah.
And so does the gear speed. So the revs and the gears kind of meet each other. The input shaft to the gearbox will go down with the gears. Right, so I'll go back to character. I haven't got that right, have I? Just think the gearbox. Yeah, spin the engine up, go up gear, input shaft goes down. Yeah, that's right. So less gas, please.
Less gas, yes.
I'll go back to character now.
Okay.
I'm now going to ask you to follow the sat nav.
Okay.
Okay. You can move away when you're ready, please.
Take the next left onto Shrub End Road, B1022.
On this occasion, she did actually check the left mirror before signalling. She does this junction well, although it would be better if she was checking both left and right before pulling out, instead of only looking right until she starts to pull out.
In a quarter of a mile, turn right onto Boadicea Way.
A good speed and position on this road, although her gear changes are still very jerky. At the next junction, she resumes to only checking the centre mirror before signalling. There is a specific box for use of mirrors for signalling on the DL25 driving test form, and failing to check mirrors before signalling is something you can fail the driving test for. But she is checking one mirror, just not both, for the direction she is turning. Whether or not this would be marked on the driving test depends on the situation. Sometimes the side mirror is more important than others, but as she is consistently only checking the centre mirror, I'm going to play this safe and mark it as a serious for use of mirrors signalling. It is possible to drive safely without the centre mirror. Many lorries and vans do this every day, but it's hard to be safe without the side mirrors.
Turn right onto Boadicea Way.
Usually an examiner would wait until nearer the end of the test before giving a serious mark for missing many minor mirror checks, but I've already seen the full test and I don't want to keep repeating myself and boring you with the fact she's not checking her side mirrors, so I'll give her the serious mark now. Good position when she turns right here. She doesn't get in the way of the cars ahead who are also turning their right.
In a quarter of a mile, your destination will be on the left.
She only checks her centre mirror before moving to the right and then back to the left again whilst passing these parked vehicles. Using your mirrors before changing direction is a separate fault to using your mirrors before signalling.
Pull over on the left in a safe place.
There are 3 separate boxes on the driving test form for use of mirrors. One is signalling, the other is changing direction, for example, going around a parked vehicle or changing lane, and the other is for changing speed, for example, sudden braking or sudden accelerating.
Okay, we're going to pause the sat nav,
Okay.
and I'm going to ask you to do the emergency stop.
Okay.
I only do the stop if I put my hand up and say stop,
Okay.
and I may look behind to make sure it's safe.
Okay.
Don't do the stop unless I put my hand out and say stop, and drive normally until I give you the signal to stop.
Okay.
Okay? Move away when there's no one coming, please. go just yet, please. You see
that
the car in the
yeah.
distance? Well, you had time to move away, yes, but
For the emergency stop.
we
No.
want to do the emergency stop, so we'll try and wait until there's no one coming at all, then we'll set off. Okay, I won't ask you to do the emergency stop now because it's no longer safe.
Okay.
You pull over on the left in a safe place, please.
Level. Sorry, I wanted to stop before the zebra crossing.
Good. Okay. We will resume the sat nav.
Okay.
Follow the road ahead when you're ready, please. Actually, we may get another opportunity.
Okay.
So before you go, again, I'll tell you to do the emergency stop if it becomes safe. I'll put my hand up and say stop.
Okay.
Ignore the
Sat nav.
directions from the sat nav in between times. Move away when absolutely no one's coming, please. Stop.
Take the next left onto Layer Road, B1026.
Good reaction, and she stopped the car quickly. I timed it so that we'd finish after the zigzags of the zebra crossing and even after the yellow lines. The only problem is she spent most of the time braking, looking at either the mirrors or the sat nav, and then at the end she was looking down. So she wasn't looking where she was going. But I would take part responsibility for this because I should have turned the sat nav off instead of telling her to ignore it during the emergency stop. I think it was a distraction.
Thank you. I won't ask you to do that again. Move away when you're ready, please.
She does check both the blind spots before moving away after the emergency stop, but the left blind spot got very old. This should be a minor mark for move off safety.
Follow the sat nav.
Please.
Approaching this junction, she checks the relevant mirrors, signals at the relevant time, slows down appropriately, and has good observations. This was a safe junction. However, when she moves away, watch how she spends a lot of time looking at the dials or in the mirrors. She should be looking where she's going.
Continue on Layer Road for half a mile.
It's important to quickly check the relevant mirrors when it's necessary, but spending too much time looking at them can be dangerous. She maintains a good position and speed down this road. She is a little bit left from time to time, but not enough to likely be marked on the driving test.
In 300 yards, turn right onto Butt Road, B1026.
She controls this situation superbly. There's a very narrow gap between the oncoming truck and the curb, but she slows right down. She's very close to the curb, but she's slow enough that she has completely minimized the danger. I'm impressed with this and I feel very safe. But that was a super jerky gear change. You could probably even see that on camera. I'm not going to allow this to continue, so the next time we pull over, I reset the cameras, and off camera, I actually spoke to her about how she could make it smoother. And later on throughout the test, her gear changes got a lot better. I really liked how she slowed down towards these traffic lights. It was smooth and it always felt like we're going to stop by the line. The sat-nav has asked her to turn right. You didn't hear that, and that's because I minimized that volume during the edit when I was talking about how she changed gear in a jerky way. Although her slowing down was good, she's positioned very much to the right and she's going to be near the curb, although she sorts this out when she gets going. I find a lot of learners do that here, and I think it's because they're told to position the vehicle to the right when they're about to turn right, but that's not really relevant here. It's not wide enough, it just puts her near the curb.
In 50 yards, at the roundabout, take the first exit and stay on Butt Road, B1026.
Good awareness at this mini roundabout.
And pull over before the silver car, please.
This is where I give her some off-camera advice on how she can change gear more smoothly.
Thank you. Part 2 of Ola's test. So just we'll wait 2 seconds and then I'll say what to do so I can cut in. Move away when you're ready, please.
Ideally, she should be checking the blind spot before signalling, that way she can make her decision before she signals. This wasn't an intentional angle start, it just happened to be where we could pull over to reset the cameras. However, she maintained good control throughout. It's good that she doesn't stop on the keep clear area. It's good that she slows down early towards the zebra crossing to allow the pedestrian to finish. Also, she was ready for that bicycle in case that wanted to go too. The speed limit is now 20 miles per hour.
In 200 yards, turn left onto Southway, A134.
To help with your planning,
Yeah.
after turning left, you will need the right lane.
Okay.
Take the next left onto Southway, A134.
If the driving examiner knows that by the time the driver sees which lane they need, it's going to be too late for them to be able to change, the examiner can help by giving advice on what lane is going to be easier. I need to say something because she is riding the clutch.
Can you push the clutch down, please? Just on the bite point there.
This would be a minor mark for control of clutch.
In 100 yards, at the roundabout, take the 4th exit onto Balkern Hill, A134.
As you can see, there's not much time to get the correct lane here and the road markings are horrendous. Good caution before moving onto the roundabout.
Exit the roundabout onto Balkern Hill.
Here she can leave in the right lane or change lane on the roundabout and leave in the left lane because there are 2 lanes on the exit road. She changes to the left lane, but she only checks the centre mirror. She checks the centre mirror very thoroughly and moves ahead about, but she must check the left mirror before moving to the left lane because the centre mirror isn't giving her enough information to know there isn't a vehicle coming up alongside us. So this would certainly be a serious mark for use of mirrors change direction. The sat-nav doesn't speak the direction as Ola approaches the roundabout, although it is displayed on screen. So she does go the wrong way, but this won't be a problem. She dealt with the roundabout very safely, she had a good approach speed, she was able to stop by the line until she saw it was safe to go, and she maintained a good position.
Sorry, what was that exit, wasn't it?
Okay, follow the sat-nav still.
Okay. Sorry.
For some reason the sat-nav has stopped speaking the directions, but it is clearly displayed on screen, and I think this is confusing Ola, which is why she's a bit slow on this road. So I'm not going to mark her down for being slow on this road because I think it's the fault of the sat-nav causing some confusion.
The roundabout, we're going right.
Okay.
But as the sat-nav's not working properly, I will help out with directions. Ola has approached the last 3 roundabouts safely. She's been slowing down enough that if she needs to stop by the line, she won't have to brake hard. But she hasn't been putting it into second gear and bringing the clutch up. Yes, she's going into second gear, but she's leaving the clutch down, which means when she makes her first look to see if it's safe, she's not ready to go. If there's an opportunity for her to go, she's going to have to rush the pedals, which is going to make it jerky. Of course, I'm not going to mark this, but it is making the car less smooth and she's less able to take opportunities. That was a very jerky start caused by the clutch pedal being in the arch of her foot. That was jerky enough to be a minor mark for controlled clutch.
This exit, right?
Follow the sat-nav.
Watching this back, I should have given her more help when it comes to leaving the roundabout as the sat-nav wasn't talking. Again, she changes lane without checking the relevant side mirror, but she already has a serious mark for use of mirrors change direction, and you can't get the same serious mark more than once. She cancels her signal more or less as soon as she puts it on to leave this roundabout. However, in this particular situation, her lack of signal isn't actually affecting anyone negatively, so it's unlikely going to be marked.
For some reason the sat-nav has stopped talking, so you have to use the map. I think as the sat-nav is not giving you sound for some reason, I'll give you directions.
Okay.
So the roundabout, we're going ahead, second exit, signposted Clacton.
Okay.
She approaches this roundabout really safely. She slows down gradually, there's no chance that she's going to need to brake hard, and she's even ready to leave the traffic light crossing clear if she needs to. Also, she gets second gear and lifts the clutch up so that she is ready to go. It's really difficult to see if it's safe to go at this roundabout due to the vehicle next to her blocking her view, and the middle lane on this roundabout can come round the roundabout, in which case she needs to wait, or can leave, in which case she can go. And they look exactly the same whether they're coming round or not. Their position's the same, and the only way you can tell is if the vehicle signals. But a lot of people don't signal on this roundabout, which makes it difficult. She tries to move away by lifting the clutch up to the bite point with the foot brake on, and it stalls. This does work in some cars, and it can work in this car if you do it well, but if that's the only method you know for moving a car on a hill, you're going to struggle to drive some cars.
Please don't rest on the clutch bite point. You've been on there for a while now.
As she started to wait at the clutch bite point with the brake on, I had to say something to prevent her from causing excessive wear to the clutch. This is the lane she was in as she entered the roundabout, the left lane, or lane 1, and she's making a beeline straight for lane 2, and she doesn't realise it. Now, you may be thinking this is a serious mark for mirrors change direction, but she's not changing lane on purpose. She doesn't realise she is changing lane. Therefore, this is a different serious mark in itself for positioning lane discipline. And as it's a busy roundabout and it's clear she's unaware that she's doing this, this has to be a serious mark. You may get away with straight lining a roundabout if you did it on purpose and you checked it was safe first, but this was clearly something she was unaware of. Again, she cancels the signal too early, but as it's not negatively affecting anyone, it's unlikely to be marked.
And roundabout ahead, second exit, Clacton on the sign.
Okay.
She approached this roundabout safely, but it would be better if she lifted the clutch up on her approach instead of lifting the clutch up after her decision. That way she would be more ready to go, and as she would be able to take more time coming off the clutch, it would be smoother. This is Ola's first mirror check before the lanes merge, and she has about 1 second's worth of driving before that happens at this speed. Fortunately, the following car is staying behind us and not trying to pass at the last moment. If they were, Ola wouldn't have much time to deal with them safely. Earlier mirror checks before the lanes merge would be safer. Notice how Ola uses the arch of her foot to press the clutch down instead of the ball of her foot. This makes controlling the clutch accurately much more difficult. I have a video all about it. I'll leave a link on screen.
Have 3 mini roundabouts.
Yeah.
You'll be going right, ahead, right.
Right ahead, right.
You'll find it easier to use the right lane for all of them.
Okay. Right ahead, right.
That's correct.
She coasts into this mini roundabout a bit, but no harm done, so this is unlikely to be marked. She brakes a little bit late to wait for this Tesco delivery van, but not late enough for it to likely be marked on the test. She's holding the clutch at the bite point again whilst being on the brake. She has been doing this enough throughout this test that this may be a serious mark for control clutch. If she does this in her own car, she's going to get to know the people who work at the garage she uses rather well.
And we're going ahead, second exit at the next roundabout, signposted town centre.
Okay.
This roundabout felt safe. She approached it at a safe speed, she made a safe decision, and she maintained a good position.
At the next roundabout is head second exit, signposted, again, town centre.
Again, this is a safe roundabout, a safe approach speed, a safe decision, and a good position. She signals at the correct time to leave as well, but she does stare to the right a bit too much when she is approaching the roundabout. It's better to be looking forwards and glancing to the right instead of staring out of the side window.
Roundabout, we're going right, third exit, signposted, yes, town centre.
No mirrors before signalling and no mirrors before leaving the roundabout, but we have already covered those two problems. Other than that, the roundabout was dealt with safely.
Can you show me how to open and close your side window, please?
Yes, of course.
This is the show me question of the driving test.
Thank you. And we're going left at the mini roundabout, all other routes on the sign.
This mini roundabout was dealt with safely. She could stop by the line until she knew it was safe to go.
Mini roundabout right.
However, her view at the next mini roundabout is worse, and she approaches at a speed where if a vehicle came at the wrong time, she may have to brake a bit too firmly.
And mini roundabout left, through traffic on the sign.
Notice how you can only see about one car length into the road that she needs to give way to from the right. She doesn't know yet if a vehicle is coming. Ola is travelling at 14 miles per hour in third gear with the clutch up whilst her foot is covering the gas, and she's this close to the line whilst trying to see if it's safe to go. And vehicles from the right come very fast here because they have a good clear view up the road and therefore they don't always slow down. You can only go this fast here safely if you have a shield coming around the roundabout blocking off traffic from the right. So this is a serious issue because if she needs to stop to give way, she is going to have to brake seriously hard, particularly when you consider her foot isn't even covering the brake. So it's going to take her even more time to get to the brake, which means you can have to brake even harder. She is creating danger here. Should it be a serious mark for junctions observations? I don't think so, because she's trying to observe. I think this should be a serious mark for junctions approach speed, because it's her approach speed that is not allowing her to stop safely by the line if she needs to. Good distance from the parked car. Again, she's giving good clearance from the parked vehicles as she makes her way up this hill, so if one was to open a door, I still feel it would be safe.
Please take the next road on the left where the white van is emerging.
This is a common error inexperienced drivers make. They steer too early and not sharp enough. To be fair to Ola, she steers quite late and quite sharp, but not enough. This is a tight turn and the gap between the van and the curb is narrow, so she needed to turn even later and even quicker to avoid hitting the curb with the back wheel, which is what she does. I'm kicking myself slightly because I knew this was going to happen and I could have solved the issue by pushing the wheel to the right slightly, but for some reason I didn't. I'm not going to mark this because she did touch the curb very gently and the situation was particularly difficult. I checked the tyre afterwards, there was no harm done, but you could see where she rubbed against the curb.
I would like you to turn right into the car park in between two yellow posts. And if you go left into the car park and then reverse into any bay you wish.
Done.
Good observations, good control over the car, and she finishes between the lines of the bay.
You finished?
Yes.
Okay, that's the end of the test.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say you haven't passed on this occasion.
Okay.
I'll get Richard to do the debrief with you.
Okay.
Better luck next time.
Thank you.
I've told Ola that I'm going to do the braking towards junctions and I'm going to tell her when to change gear, and we're going to see if it makes a difference to her driving. So at the mini roundabout you're going right, mirror signal right, I'm doing the braking, start getting second gear whilst I brake. See how I'm slowing down?
Yeah.
Don't look right yet. We can't make a
can't see
decision.
anything.
It's too early. Look at the line. We're getting a bit slow. Don't press any of the pedals. I'll get you a bit slower. Don't look right yet.
Okay.
Now you can see, can't you?
Yeah.
Now go. That's easy. You make it hard, but that can be easy. So left at the next mini roundabout, off the gas, don't do the brake. I'll do the brake for you.
Yep.
Slow it down a little bit like that. Look where you're going, look round the bend.
Yep.
Now check, anyone coming?
Yep.
And you can go. But you're looking mostly where you're going. You can see the people crossing the road.
Yeah.
You can see where you're turning into. You're not just staring at what could be coming round the roundabout as you approach it. So up to third. So again, as we approach this roundabout, try not to look right too early, try not to make a decision, we'll get it jogging first. So off the gas, start braking gently. Try and get it jogging a few seconds before you get there. So brake now. So we're jogging by this yellow thing. Bit more brake, into second gear. I'll help you with the brake a little bit to give you a bit more time. Clutch up. Okay, now you're jogging. Can you go? You don't know, do you? So clutch down, get it walking really slow. First gear. And then when you know it's safe, then you can go. Look ahead as well. Don't just look right. Look where you got to go. Look at your lane.
Yeah.
When you can go and you stay in your lane. We don't want to cut into that car. Well, there's no car there yet. That car's lane. He's there now. We don't expect you to take challenging opportunities. After the white car, maybe. Okay, so look forwards.
And then gas.
Stay in your lane. Go forwards right up to the wall. Like that.
Oh, I remember now.
And then indicate to leave so they know what you're doing. Okay, so cancel the signal. It's 2 lanes to 1. Good. Good. So a little bit of speed, get up this hill. And then when it's safe, move to the right lane. So check your centre right mirror. Look forwards as well. Get nearer the lane. Indicate. Check your mirrors again. And there's not much of a need for a blind spot check here because there is only 1 lane next to you.
Okay.
But there's 2 lanes next to you. Blind spot check is a must. Now brake gently. We're going to be walking at this one because we can't see because of the hedges. So don't do the gear, just brake. We're going right, mirror signal right, bit more brake. I might help you a bit. This is more like it, like this.
Okay.
Get the clutch down. We can't see right, can we? No. Don't try. Look forwards, look at the line, look forwards, get slower. First gear now. Now you make your decision.
Go.
That's when you should make your decision. That's how slow you should go on that one.
Okay.
Into second, So we've had about 10 or 15 minutes practice, haven't we?
Yes.
I've given you some help with car control, try and help you understand the manual a bit more. There's more help I could give you with that actually, but just running out of time. Honestly, how does the drive feel now?
A lot better, more smoother, not as jerky as before.
Yeah, because you understand a bit more about how to change gear, but also you are taking your time at junctions. The biggest thing that I think I'm encouraging you to do, the biggest change, is approaching junctions, focusing on controlling the car, slowing it down, and making your decision when you're slower and closer, instead of trying to make your decision from far back whilst trying to control the car at the same time, and then maybe braking a bit hard and losing your position because you're not looking where you're going enough.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can take something away from that, and that will help you be a safer driver.
Yeah.
Are you happy with today?
Yeah, very, yeah.
Good. Right, that's the end of the video.
Okay.
If you found the video interesting, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're looking for car insurance, check out the links to Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, then Collingwood are there for you, because you can do so without affecting the owner's policy, and that takes away a big stress from the owner of that car. Via the link at the moment, there's up to 35% off and a £20 Amazon gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out the link to confused.com, because you fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes back from many insurers, and you can change your car on that quote as many times as you like without having to do the whole quote again. So it's a quick and easy way to compare how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.